wide open.
What's up guys, it's Project, bringing you the ultimate bow builds for 2.0. With about 2 weeks away from 3.0, these builds should help melt the new content when it arrives. So, if you're ready to build the most powerful weapon in the game, then let's begin. Since bow is one of my favorite weapons, you get more than 3 builds this video. But first things first, a few little know-hows for bow. Currently, bow has a special gimmick. Some would call it a bug. It allows you to quick burst out both your normal and power shot in near identical time. If you press R2 then A really fast, the power shot will cancel the normal arrow's animation, or at least shorten it if you're using dodge bolt. This is what lends bow to being OP. If this was fixed, bow will still be top tier, but this does lend some nice DPS and attack windows no other weapon can match. So for the game plan, the basic is to get to full charge, then dodge B into R2 for normal, then if the monster is still not attacking, hit A again for the second shot, and then you repeat that process as dodging will upkeep the bow charge level to sustain that max damage. Second tip is aerial aim. While the normal combo I told you about just before is better DPS than spamming aerial, to which you probably use focus shot as the switch skill instead for a free iframe dodge with a bigger window than dodge bolt. But if you want to take to the skies, then aerial aim is still nice damage for an ender once you're out of stamina, or to get a mount for parts, let's say, or against certain monsters with certain bows, it's actually pretty good. So here's a trick into shooting the aerial aim better. Normally, after using aerial and jumping, you would hold L2 to aim better, right? ZL. But this actually slows your aim down. So instead of doing that, as soon as you hit aerial aim buttons, which is R1 plus X, let go of ZL and move the camera with the right thumbstick instead. This will allow way faster aiming to where you aim in the direction you want, then hold ZL to bring the reticle to land the shot better. This is the strategy needed to aim aerial aim straight down on a monster that's super close to you. That way you land your 3 shots and you can do the melee attack on the way down. I also recommend setting your camera speed to super fast for this as well. Changing the reticle speed seemed to not do much, but the camera speed does, and yeah, just some helpful tips there. For food to eat, booster, fighter, and marksman are your go-tos. Weakener is nice as well if your stamina management is fine, although I don't think it works against elders. As far as palette goes, bring a fighter palico for rousing roar buff for an easy 30% affinity, as well with the power jump skill on it for more attack. For switch skills, again, it'll vary depending on your style, but generally absolute power shot for KOs and dodge bolt are the preferred setups, with the aerial focus shot debate being your choice. But don't sleep on Herculean draw, however, which is done by R1 plus A. It'll give a sizable attack increase for 2 bugs, and those bugs will recharge fairly fast to boot. So if you're not going to spam aerial aim too much, you should be using this anytime you get. So now that all the tippies are out of the way, build all, start all. The first build will be the obvious one. These are basically the best bows in the game right now with 2.0 and can be customized for either rapid or pierce playstyle. Due to getting high rapid level 5 shots and power coatings and decent raw on elements, these are the best of the best. However, this means you have to make a separate Rampage Bow for each element if you want to cover all the elements. Meaning you'd have to make like 5 bows, and it also means if you want different shot types for said bows, you're gonna have to make even more bows. So while they are the best, they are freaking annoying to make, as you'd have to endure Rampage several times, or according to Capcom, a plethora. Luckily, one build rules them all for any of the bows, meaning to switch elements, you merely just switch the bow instead of the whole build. Now we'll present a budget version here for those that haven't watched my melding video. This is a simple 3-2-1 no skill charm and gets you all the essentials every bow wants. Mighty Bow Feather, Cons 4, Stamp Surge 3, Rapid or Pierce Up level 3, Wex 3, Reload Speed 2, and 3 elemental attack of your choice. These are all necessary skills for bow, with Constant Surge providing you the stamina to upkeep DPS. Reload Speed 2 allows you to change coatings by simply going between them with one button press instead of going through the animation, and the standard Mighty Bow and Rapid Up for big damage increases alongside Wex. So as you see, with a basic normie charm, you got a powerful bow build. Now all you do is just swap the LE decos according to the element of the bow you use for the hunt. But now we'll move on to my build, the big PP Rampage Bow. Through the power of Grayskull, Scooming, you get this build. Cons 5, Elemental Attack 4, Attack 2, and Evade Extender for Dodge Bolt. I do sacrifice Surge for Extender here, just because I like it with Dodge Bolt more, as without Extender, Dodge Bolt feels a little short and is harder to close distance. Otherwise, you can toss the Jumping Deco for a third Surge. For Rampage skills, these are the best ones to get, with the Arc Shot being up to you. Personally, I do the Recovery one to heal without sheathing. Now, I have tested, and this setup beats out Max Element, so do not go for Max Element. The Attack 2 is better. I tested against Event Tetranodon, which is 30 weak to Thunder on the head. Might Seed and Herculean Draw are the only buffs used, alongside Booster and Marksman for food, and both my setup and a Max Element without attack got the exact same numbers, as you can see here. Meaning, on monsters with lower elemental hit zones, especially true if you're going Pierce Rampage Bow, attack 1 would yield bigger numbers. Which I also tested against Teostra, which is 20 weak to ice, and the attack 1 got 1 to 3 more damage per arrow. So this is the ultimate setup given the charm. You do not need a Cons 3 charm specifically, just Cons 2 is fine so long as it has a 3-2-0 slot. In fact, the best charm, the God Bow charm in my opinion, is Cons 3 with a 3-2-1 or a Cons 2 with Stamp Surge 1 and 3-2-1 slots. But without knowing the true possible combination of charm effects, it is kinda hard to say what is and isn't possible to get. But my charm is possible, so there's the goal for now. If you want flinch free for multiplayer however, then perhaps a Max Elemental Bow option is slightly better as you can squeeze flinch free in. But yeah, that's the best Rampage Bow build. Moving on to build 2, Dark Harbinger is a simple one and done build. Don't want to make all the element bows and constantly switch for each different monster but still want decent damage? Don't want to do Arena for Mighty Bow Feather? Love to spam aerial aim despite it being less DPS than bow glitch spam? Well, here's the build for you. Herald Bow is quite a contender. Yes, the Dark Horse itself not only looks good, but even without element, it is capable of matching the damage of the previous top tier bow build in aerial aim damage only, due to Silkbind Boost. You can get Silkbind Boost from Hunter's Stout Bow Tree first, equip it to that bow, and upon upgrading to Herald's Tree, it'll retain that Silkbind Boost for 10% increased aerial shot damage. This leads the build to doing over 100 damage hits against Diablo's Wings with aerial aim, actually beating Ice Rampage Bow from before by a small amount. Both tests were with Mega Demon Drug, Demon Powder, and Might Seed eaten, no cap buffs, no Herculean Draw, and just Booster and Marksman for food. Now granted, since Rampage Bow does stronger rapid shots, the Herald will be out DPS'd over time, but still, not bad for a universal bow build you can take against any monster, and at worst you lose about a minute kill time. So give it a shot if you like. This was the peak setup I could figure out, getting the highest EFR given the charm, beating out attack 4 plus crit I4 setup, and beating out attack level 7 setup as well. Add Rousing Roarcat and Power Drum and hey, you can actually be competitive. Unlike the Rampage Bow 2, you can squeeze in flinch free for multiplayer, though you do lose Evade Extender for this build as a trade-off. For a budget option with just a plain 3-2-1 slot charm, this is the best you can get, which is still solid, although it'll be quite weaker than the budget Rampage Bow build in comparison. The next build is Narwa Killer Narga. This build is to speed kill Narwa. I haven't tested if Pierce Rampage Bow with Dragon Element can outdamage this against Narwa, but this was used to kill Narwa in many Japanese speedruns, so offering my build here. I have tried a peak performance speedrunner setup, however, it turns out attack 5 gets the same exact damage as peak, except if you get hit, you're not forced to heal, which would have lowered your DPS or ruined runs with the peak setup. So in my opinion, this is the best build overall for Narwa, given it also gets crit boost and Wex 2, meaning Narga's 40% plus Wex 30% turns out to 70% crit. Add in Rousing Roarcat buff for that final 30% crit to get to 100% crit against that belly. Because the Narwa fight is special, you actually don't need much const or surge, if at all. The Spear Bird at the start maxes your stamina gauge so much that you'll find it hard to run low on stamina. So for the charm, in my opinion, it becomes a little bit more flexible, though you still need the 3-2 slots. But yeah, Narga bow build for some variants. Almost got a sub 5 with the peak version that is worse than the version I've shown here, so pretty sweet Narwa farm build to farm those mats and do you know what. For Rampage skill, get Silkbind boost by the way, which is how you'll kill Narwa with aerial spam against her belly, which like the hero build, you have to get from the prior bow tree, Bishatin, equip it to that, and then upgrade into Narga tree to get the Silkbind boost on Narga. And last build, I suppose if you wanted to save on Rampage bows, you can skip out on Fire Rampage bow for Arachna and do my build here, Flame Spitter. This still kills stuff like Chameleos very fast, as you can see with my sub 6 here, so against a Moldron and Cammy and other fire weak mons that have multiple parts weak to fire, this is competitive to Rampage Firebow, maybe even beating it out potentially, as its third level is Pierce 5 as well, whereas Rampage only has Pierce 5 on the last 4th level. Because of the extra slots it has too, you can also squeeze in more damage to make up the difference of the low raw, with an extra crit boost. Like the Rampage, you can sub out Evade Extender if you want for another crit boost or Stam Surge 3. For a budget version, you can get these here. The skills are all on top, and you should be able to figure the decos out by yourself by seeing what skills aren't maxed to the top yet once you put the armor set together. Now, I will say, out of warning, Dragon Bow build. You might want to hold off and use Ibushi's instead of Rampage. Next update, we're getting some more monsters, right? This means more upgrades for more weapons. Considering data mines, let's just say we could get some spicy stuff to make things more competitive to Rampage. Personally, I foresee Elders and both Ibushi and Narwa getting upgrades. Rampage has a chance to get an upgrade as well, just like 2.0 did, but I think the Elders will see a bigger jump in power next update. So in my opinion, hold off on Dragon as I predict Ibushi to get an upgrade. Narwa will too for sure, but because its shot types are more random whereas Ibushi's is rapid, Narwa's will still likely be worse than Rampage Thunderbow, although due to another Thunder monster, maybe hold off on Thunder anyhow. But considering Apex Mizu and Raytheon didn't auto-update their weapons for some trees though, perhaps that statement's a little tinfoil. In the end, I wouldn't craft more than 3 Rampage bows to be safe. Push comes to shove, you can just change the element of the Rampage bow if a new 3.0 new bow outdamages it. But yeah, don't want to go wasting mats on all 5 elements and the next update they become obsolete. But yeah, that's the build video of the best bow builds for 2.0. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bow did take a little bit longer due to the element and shot types becoming bigger factors than other weapons, but next build video I will go back to melee in the form of Swax. If you want to know more nuances about bow, go check out Titus69, another YouTuber. He makes amazing bow videos, speedruns, and his editing is top tier compared to the bigger YouTubers. So make sure to check him out to support him. Link will be in the pinned comment. But before that, right now, if you enjoy my video and want to see more like this with the quality I bring to the YouTube game as well, aerial aim and hit that like button, and comment down below your favorite bow builds currently, and subscribe for more Rise epicness. Yeah.